Welcome to What the Wrestling, a show where I take a look at events that took place in wrestling companies across the country that really that confused or upset me, or basically stuff I just wanted to talk about. I've deviated a bit over the last couple episodes. Anyway, December was odd. Instead of looking at a particular company, we'll start off with the bad news. We began the month with the passing of legend Patterson. Pat contributed a lot to the wrestling industry, and he will be deeply missed. That being said, the way Pat Patterson was handled didn't upset me as much as it confused me a little. WWE did set up the traditional 10 bell salute, which I guess really is a tradition, even though I've not really heard of it that much. They don't do it that often. But then, and I really don't want to disgrace the memory of Pat Patterson anyway. But with WWE's Thunderdome, they did something strange during his tribute. Instead of having the Superstars chant this, or trying to find a way to get the Thunderdome to chant this, they piped in an awkwardly recorded "Thank You, Pat" chant over the loudspeaker. And as respectful as it was supposed to be, it did come off a little silly. It might have actually been better if, after their moment of silence, the Superstars did it. That might have been better. Or did it along with the awkward recording, so it wasn't so obvious. But it's okay. Moving on, near the end of the month, we lost someone else. John Huber, who in WWE was Luke Harper, and in AEW was Brody Lee, the head of the Dark Order. Each company was respectful, at least the bare minimum. AEW performed the 10 bell salute, and even pushed back their show event schedule to hold a special tribute episode, which I personally had never seen before in the world of professional wrestling. It's like someone passes and they just hold an entire episode. That's really respectful. Yeah, I've never seen that before. It was done well. And good for them, you know. Apparently he was a real nice guy backstage. I wouldn't know, but you'll be missed, John Huber. But now we'll move on. Now we're done with that. And let's move on to the rest of the show. Starting from the beginning of the month, there's a strange AEW and Impact cross-promotion going on. Kind of. It seems ridiculously one-sided. Apparently, Kenny Omega won his AEW title with the help of high up in Impact Wrestling offices, Don Callis. He helped Omega win, and so Kenny Omega specifically has been doing things on Impact. He showed up on Impact to plug AEW and mostly just do his own thing. Yet the other way doesn't happen. You don't see Impact plugs on AEW programming. So it is ridiculously one-sided. What really needs to be done, I think, is a little more actual cross promotion. Maybe a true invasion angle. That'd be interesting. But so far, no, it just seems like a really bad deal for Impact. Once again, getting screwed for no good reason. And now, sticking to WWE for the rest of the show, let's talk about the Money in the Bank title shot. Recently at TLC, The Miz, in the middle of a ladder match for the championship, decided to come down. And John Morrison, holding the Money in the Bank title shot, cashed in on Miz's behalf and turned the title match into a triple threat. Well, this made Drew McIntyre retain his WWE Championship. And the Money in the Bank cash-in failed. Well, Miz was noticeably upset. And him and Morrison were just brooding. And eventually, Miz realized something. Wait a minute. Only the holder of the Money in the Bank title can cash it in. Morrison cashed in. He didn't. And so he appealed to WWE management. He did the whole campaign to try to get it back, and he actually did. So now he can continue to be obnoxious. Speaking of being obnoxious, Baron Corbin, King Baron Corbin, the Lone Wolf, has wound up obtaining an entourage of knights that he actually calls Knights of the Lone Wolf because of his previous gimmick. This bothers me considerably, because if you are a lone wolf, you shouldn't be having anyone. Near the end of the year, WWE ran a segment that it was dumb, it was silly, but I loved it. Drew McIntyre's out in the middle of the ring. He's thanking everybody who was so supportive over the year, throughout the year. Then all of a sudden, entrance music hits, and down comes 2020 to actually cut a heel promo. It's like, Michael Cole's going, I can't stand 2020. How much torture can we get? And 2020 actually, I think, cuts the best heel promo that I've heard all year. It's like, I missed a Zoom call for this. Oh, what's wrong? Did you think it was going to be your year? You weren't going to go to the gym anyway. I loved it. And various superstars proceeded to beat up 2020. And eventually, since 2020 would not stay down, eventually 2021 shows up to finish off 2020. It's a silly segment, but I absolutely adored it. We go from good triumphing over evil to evil triumphing over evil. Because for TLC, The Fiend and Randy Orton were set to clash in a Firefly Inferno match. As this went on, we had the supernatural evil of The Fiend being paired up set up repeatedly against the cold, calculating, psychopathic Randy Orton. And they seemed to They were kind of one-upping each other in villainy. It really was if two supervillains were clashing against each other. It ultimately ended with Orton setting the Fiend on fire and winning the Inferno match. The Fiend had not appeared since, but Alexa Bliss, who has gone nutty and being the Fiend's basically Harley Quinn, is not taking it very well, has been inviting Orton to her playground, a special little place the Fiend had made for her. And as of this recording, as of the last Raw presented, challenged Randy Orton to set her on fire and send her to where he is. Now, Orton, with the mindset of an edgy teenager concerning evil, is conflicted because on the one hand, you get to burn Alexa Bliss. On the other hand, that is exactly what Alexa Bliss wants. And as an evil person, you don't want to do that. You don't want to give them what they want. So for the next couple minutes, we were all like, will he, won't he, yada yada yada. The lights cut to black, and we wound up showing Randy Orton holding a match until the episode ended. If this was actually live television, like they claim, they would not have cut away. They would have preempted whatever program they had, waiting, and continued to show this, because this would have been breaking news. And so there we are. We have to find out this coming Raw if he actually did it or not. Which is stupid. It would not have worked that way at all if this was actually live television, like they said it was. So, yeah, that's really dumb. And that's where I'm going to end the episode. We'll find out in my January review of what the wrestling, of how that turned out. Oh boy. But until then, I'll see you in the ring.